When you know all the money that's coming into your system, into your life, and all the money that's leaving, and you kind of have that balance sheet of what's happening, when you have this system, now you can see that money's being managed. Now you are checking in on a monthly or annual or quarterly basis and seeing how it's growing, what you're using it for. You're just closer, and your money has more purpose because you have more direction.
Because your money should have a job, right? You're out there working hard for your money should be working hard for you.
And isn't that the paradigm shift? We're all taught to go out, work hard, trade time for money. But at the end of the day, we really want to make that shift.
Welcome back to another episode of WealthWise Banking. On this episode, we're going to talk about a year-end reset and how to become the chief financial officer, the CEO of your life in the next 30 days. And I kind of want to start out with a saying I say kind of regularly. No one cares more about your money than you, right? Jason, who cares more about your money than Patty? Maybe she's the only one who cares more about your money than you.
Man, just like you've been reading my mind, because I know your CPA doesn't care more. I know your bank doesn't care more. I know Wall Street definitely doesn't care more. But lately, one of the best responses I keep getting from Patty when I say this, and this, she says, "You know what? Make more money." So you might be right on that. You might be spot on with what you just said. I didn't even tell you that. So
yeah. Well, when you treat money with respect, it starts to respect you back, doesn't it?
It does. It does. When you stop treating it like the weird aunt or uncle that you hope doesn't show up and embarrass everybody or themselves, then yeah, money starts working a little bit better with you with respect.
Yeah, and I don't want folks to think that this is a really technical conversation. We are talking about being the CFO, the chief financial officer of your life. However, you don't have to have an MBA to implement this process. In fact, like if you understand how a checking account works, you can implement this banking practices every single day of your life.
Ooh, that sounds kind of complicated. I think we can make it even simpler than that. Like if you can write down things on a piece of paper, then you can do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the main thing to keep in mind here is that ownership really starts with awareness. And if you don't track your money, you can't take control of it. You can't direct it. And what you can't direct will eventually disappear.
That's it. And that's what's happening to the majority of folks, right? This is what we're going to break down today. It's simple. And it's a human system that's set up. It's been in place for hundreds of years. And all we're doing is teaching you how to use the process, how to couple that with the laws of wealth. And then what are the things that are going to help you act like that CFO of your life? Like, how do you track every cent? How do you run a weekly meeting? We're going to show you how you can plug the leaks, build that liquidity vault, and create a calm by giving every dollar a job.
Yeah, I like that because your money should have a job, right? You're out there working hard for your money should be working hard for you.
And isn't that the paradigm shift? We're all taught to go out, work hard, trade time for money. But at the end of the day, we really want to make that shift. This is today, Jeremy, we had this conversation, the family saying, "Hey, why don't we have," like they were around a bunch of people over the last couple of days. "Hey, why don't we have the same park passes, annual passes like so-and-so has for Disney or for Universal or for the new Epic Park or whatever it is?" And I was kind of like, or SeaWorld. And I was like, well, one, I hate lines. and two, we could get any of those things right now. But if we didn't act like the CFO, put our money to work, have that money produce interest, then we get the passes. Then we can even maybe do some cooler things with having meals inside the park and all the other things, getting gifts, doing other things, because now our money is working for us.
Yeah, and for those who don't know it, Jason lives outside Orlando, so he's constantly tempted by the tourist traps in the happiest place on earth.
I'm not. I've lived here for 26 years, and I think I've been a handful of times. I could probably count all the times I've been to all the parks in both my hands. So
yeah, all right. So answer me this, all right? Why does ownership matter more than any other tool or wealth advisor?
I think it's because I have a couple answers that came to mind immediately, but the number one thing I thought of is because you're closer to your money.
Explain that.
When you know all the money that's coming in, into your system, into your life, and all the money that's leaving, and you kind of have that balance sheet of what's happening, when you have this system, now you can see that money's being managed. Now you are checking in on a monthly or annual or quarterly basis and seeing how it's growing, what you're using it for. You're just closer, and your money has more purpose because you have more direction.
Mm. Yeah, I like that. So basically, you stop drifting and start directing. You're really becoming
Mm.
the CFO of your finances.
Yeah, and who doesn't want to be a CFO, right? I never even dreamed of being a CFO. Now I'm a CFO of 4 banking systems, soon to be 5.
Mm.
And that's something like we talked to people. I was around a family this week that has 47 family banking.
Holy
Just
smokes.
right. Well, I mean, they're, one of those big, big, big families with like 11 siblings and all the things. But yeah, could you imagine not having a CFO or not taking time to manage that, to make it meaningful, to make it manageable, to build that family vault so it's, the money's compounding while you can still use it?
Again, no one cares more about your money than you, except maybe your spouse.
That's it. That is it. And I know I just heard mine coming in through the garage. So, and when we're going through this, what's one decision that you've made recently? And, for some of you, this might be cringeworthy, but what's one decision that you've made recently with your money that you wish you could redo?
Yeah, that's a good reflection point. And you don't have to answer it straight away, but probably if you had something that came up like immediately to mind when Jason asked that, if you could redo something recently, a money decision, ask how often that sort of pattern or that behavior repeats in your life.
And because nothing's going to change unless you're aware of it, right? That's being conscious, self-aware, whatever you want to call it. And if that hurt a little bit, good. Good. I'm okay with that stinging a little bit in the moment. Or here's another question, Jeremy, I like to ask all the time. When you paid the extra money towards that credit card debt, or when you bought that thing that you didn't really need and you didn't really want it, you just, thought it was kind of cool because the marketing was so good. Will you ever make money on that money again?
Oh, opportunity cost, right?
Yes.
Hmm.
Will you ever make, and that's how I started. I mean, that question, Jeremy, has changed my life. Will I ever make money on this money again? A big tax bill that hit us, I mean, I guess I could have known about it, but I wasn't expecting to have a giant payroll tax 2 years ago for what we pay ourselves. And I was like, oh my God, I can't stroke a check for 40 grand and just give it to Uncle Sam. I'll never make money on this money again. And Uncle Sam's going to have a good time.
Talk about such a powerful use, though, of this banking system, like to literally just have it sit there to pay yourself first for the taxes and to recapture all the taxes you'll ever pay because you ran that funnel through your banking system first.
And that wasn't even our topic today, right? But that's those moments when you ask yourself that question when you're the CFO of your life and you say, will I ever make money on this again?
Mm-hmm.
If the answer is no, what's the next question? Well, how could I?
Yeah, it's the how question really leads to a lot of creativity. It's like we can't afford this. The question should be how can we afford it? And part of that starts with your habits, your money habits, and that does start with tracking. And some people think that tracking can be restrictive, but it's not about restriction. It's truly about awareness. And you can use any tool that you want for tracking. It could be a spreadsheet. It can be an app. It can be a notebook. It's actually the win and the consistent wins that you have and you build up over time. I think it was maybe episode 37, Jason, where we talk about a couple tips you can use to automate this process of tracking.
And yeah, I believe it. That was, I don't know what episode we're even in today, Jeremy. So I don't know why you're asking me those kind of questions. But with that, it is, yes, we do definitely talk about this previously. I think you are correct with episode 37. And we talk about how you can automate this, how you can make this process really easy. And then to make it even more powerful is you're going to start having a rhythm around when are you checking, when are you measuring and monitoring so you can manage it, right? So you can manage that.
Yeah, talk a little bit about what you and Patty do around managing your money, that rhythm that you have that you built in.
It started with, and Patty talks about it all the time, it started with me just saying, hey, we're going to have a money meeting. We gave it a name. It used to be called something else, a little goofier, but we're just going to talk about how we feel about money. And we started that on December 12th or 22nd of 2022. And we have it every Tuesday. It is the most important meeting of our life. Like we
Why?
literally sit
Why
down.
is that the most important meeting?
Because it's changed our marriage. It has completely changed the energy and the rhythm of our marriage and what's possible. It started off being awful, man. Like it was not fun. I've talked about it in other episodes. It was not a fun experience to sit down and, really hold your partner accountable. Like, hey, how do you feel about money?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a hard conversation though. If you're just talking about, hey, what came in, what went out, what was worth it, what wasn't, what changes. We asked you earlier, what's one money habit or one money splurge that you did over the last month that you wish you could take back? It's just identifying those things. And I think once you start becoming aware, you can start directing again and giving guidance and direction to your capital.
And thank you for bringing it back to make it practical. I was getting a little emotional with it. I'm just saying, don't expect it to be perfect. I think that was my kind of my message was. Don't expect it to be perfect. It's not gonna be. Like, either one of you probably has some money traumas. Maybe both of you do. Maybe they're different traumas. And over time, the conversation and making it safe and making it fun and just what went in, what went out, what's aligned with our big vision. What is our big vision? That's really the power of that meeting. And now we've even taken Jeremy to where now we're having quarterly where I'll block out the whole day. And last time we did this, it was actually 2.5 days that we sat down and we measured and monitored everything on the business side, on the personal side. What do we want in the future? Where are we going 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What's that going to cost? It becomes a really fun exercise when you start managing what it is and what it's for.
Yeah, I think the what it's for part could really be beneficial. And if you don't have a partner who really wants to have this conversation, tie it into something they do want. Is it a vacation? Well, how? Let's get into it. We can't afford a vacation. Let's talk about how we can afford a vacation. Let's make it fun and enjoyable. So that way we actually do have an end goal in mind.
I love that. And if you're able to, you want to put it on the calendar, because if it's not on the calendar, you're not going to be able to control it. Like, show me your calendar and I'll show you what your focus is. Mm-hmm. Have you heard that before, Jeremy?
Yeah, I have heard that. Yeah, it's true. What is measured matters, and your calendar is a reflection of what your priorities are.
And for anybody listening to this, the reason we want to build a banking system that we control, be the CFO of your life, to measure, to monitor, to know what's coming in, going out, to follow the laws of wealth, is because you want to build a life that you are excited about. We're helping you have the tools and the habits to build a very intentional life. You don't hear Jeremy or I say, go out, work harder, do more, scrimp, save, eat beans and rice. That's not the message. The message is get aligned on the big vision. Where are you going? What matters most? What do you want in life? And then also make a little fun of yourself. Like, man, I really didn't need that fourth bicycle.
Yeah, for me, it would probably be the 2 shots of pumpkin spice latte for this holiday season.
You can have that. I think that's okay. But to your point, the small leaks can sink big ships.
Yeah, they do. Some of those are in subscriptions, delivery fees, memberships, right? What's that membership that you signed up for that you said you were going to use, but you never did?
Here's a good one, Jeremy. So, we have multiple, streaming channels or subscriptions, and we downgraded all of them. So now you have to watch commercials. Well, one of my nephews, who's only 5 years old, did not know about commercials.
I know we're getting off topic here, but
no, we're not at all. We're talking about the memberships. Yeah. We're talking about the price that we're paying for these different services.
No, commercials to me are the opportunity for a bathroom break or to go grab snacks. Like, I need the commercial.
Well, I don't, because then Patty's poking me in the belly and going, "You don't need that snack." You're not actually playing Santa this year. Yeah. You don't need that. But I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. He's like, "What is this? What's happening?" During his cartoon, Spider-Man, all of a sudden, he had that. But you know what? It saved Patty and I like $72 a month between the 3 or 4 different things, downgrading them all to have commercials.
Yeah. And if you're going to be the CFO of your life, just start with a 7-day audit. Like, look at where these leaks are happening. Is there a $50 a month leak that you could cancel today and reroute into your banking system, right? A system that's going to continue to pay you time and again. And I want you to kind of really need to think about the compounding over time by rerouting that capital into your system. And then you think about the opportunity cost that Jason was alluding to earlier. $50 a month compounded over time can literally be thousands of dollars to pay for a vacation or your two pump spice pumpkin lattes and subscription fees and all these other things? Like which one actually produces more memories? That's what I want to think about. What are the memories that you're able to build by having control of your capital?
Ooh, I like that. You're building the memories in over time. The amount that you're putting into your system, it matters. So if you can shut down a $50 a month leak, a $70 a month leak, a $5 a month leak, like 50 bucks times 12 is $600, right? 60 times 12, 720 bucks. Right there is over $1,200, right? That you can put back into your system, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's powerful. You do that one, two, three times, compound that over time, literally your whole life. And part of this system can start funding your retirement. We've had an episode on that, on how your system, your banking system can help supplement your retirement. But it truly does avalanche. That small snowball can turn into an avalanche of wealth over time.
And now we talked about the weird aunt, the weird uncle, and the reason that you want to treat money the way that you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a relationship. And when you ignore it, guess what? It's going to leave. When you respect it, when you nurture it, when you give it attention, guess what happens? It grows. So Jeremy, let's talk about how we can respect money in practical terms.
I just go right back to the beginning of it. Just give it a job, right? We want to protect it, we want to grow it, and we want to give it purpose. And when your money has a job, you actually have kind of a calm and confidence about your finances because you know that that dollar has direction at that point.
Oh, a dollar with direction. Now that should be a t-shirt. Give your dollar a direction. That's going to create that calm and that confidence in your family. Because all of a sudden, when you're sleeping, guess what? Your money doesn't need to sleep. It gets to keep on working for you. And that's what it's doing inside the policy. So it's even better, Jeremy, when the money is growing in the policy and it's making you a spread somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that liquidity is peace of mind. And that's what you have inside of these policies. You have absolute, unequivocal first line to your money, to your capital. Liquidity is peace of mind. So if you do get stuck, life happens, you actually have options. And that gets back to that calm and that clarity about your money.
And what happens when becoming your own banker fits into this, or where does becoming your own banker fit into this?
Well, we started off with just tracking the leaks. We did a 7-day audit, right? And then once you identify where a couple of those leaks are at, you can start plugging them. And then you can funnel that surplus back into your personal banking system and build that liquidity, that vault, right? Then once it's in the banking system, it starts compounding over time, while at the same point remaining accessible for when life happens or big opportunities or memories being made, right? Again, your dollars have direction.
And the guardrails on this is, your money is growing tax deferred once it's in the policy. It is the policy loans are tax free. It's not an investment, it's a cash flow system. It's how you're able to take your money and give it at least 3 jobs, right? You're saving it while you're spending the same dollar, and it's protecting your family, and it's doing so much more than that. It's the peace of mind it brings. It is treating your money with respect. It is running as much as you're able to through your own system. And over time, you're going to want to expand your system, because once you switch from seeing this as a cost and you start seeing it as what's the word for it? It's not an opportunity. As you start seeing it as a blessing, you start seeing it as a privilege. It goes from being a cost to being a privilege at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, just think about it, our listeners out there. If you were to be hit with a $3,000 surprise today or tomorrow, we've got the holiday season coming up. If you were to be hit with an unexpected capital event, would it create stress in your life, or would you be calm about it? What would change if you had all the cash on hand to cover that unexpected expense, that surprise?
Yeah, so a $3,000 hit. What if it's a $30,000 opportunity? What if it's a $300,000 opportunity, right? At some point, like Warren Buffett's been stacking cash like crazy. Was it $384 billion? Why? Because he understands that change is coming and an opportunity he feels is going to be there. Mm-hmm. So when the opportunity comes, he's going to feel really calm, if not super excited. So whether it's 3,000, 30,000, 300,000, 3 million, it's the same thing. Are you prepared, or are you being reactive?
Yeah. And again, you start small and you start stacking that over time, and that creates that momentum, that creates the rhythm, that creates really the peace of mind, the liquidity for to either cover unexpected expenses or, to Jason's point, massive opportunities.
And you know, Jeremy, that there's anyone who's listening, we believe in not only taking radical ownership, but taking action. So Jeremy's mentioned it a few times. Get that 7-day leak audit. That means you're tracking everything coming in and going out, and then you're going to start labeling it. Is this high value or low value? Is this aligned? Is this something that has to be postponed? And set that money meeting. Set it today. Set it in this moment. Set it and put it on your calendar. It doesn't even matter if your partner doesn't know yet. Get it done. And now you're tracking every cent coming in. You're doing it daily. You're building that 1 month buffer to schedule everything or to review everything that's happening. And then you want to schedule a call with one of us. Have that conversation once you're paying yourself, once you're that CFO, because now you want to design your liquidity vault, that plan, that family bank, and set your first automatic transfer.
Yeah. And the reason that we're starting with the leak audit and tracking every cent, at least for 7 days, trying to get it up to 1 month, is because during that call with myself or Jason or both of us, what you're going to end up doing is we're going to end up asking you, what is your savings plan? Where do you warehouse your wealth today? And we're going to talk dollars and cents because it matters. Money matters. And if you don't have an idea of where your money's going, we have a difficult time of helping you direct your money.
And it's like if you're trying to go work with a nutritionist, I use this example all the time. You go work with a nutritionist and they're like, well, when do you eat? I don't know. I eat. How often do you eat? How much do you drink? How many calories? Like if you don't write it everything down, if you don't have awareness around it, you can't manage it. And so that's where you have to start. And that's why Jeremy's saying, when you do know these things, well, we might see some of the leaks. We might see that you're putting this money in all these other buckets or you're overpaying on things where you never earn money on the money again. And that's not that's not the only message here is, hey, let's shut down the leaks. It's really to take ownership, to be that CFO, to start respecting your money in a different way, to start looking at it as a tool for everything that you do want.
Yeah. So I'm going to encourage you guys, book a strategy session with Jason or Jeremy once you've done your leak audit, once you understand where your dollars are going. And if you just want to keep it like on a pen and paper and write it down on a weekly basis, track it for a month, whatever, send it to us. Send it to us before your call, before your strategy session. So then it begs the question, how do I book a strategy call? Well, go to wealthwisebanking.com. If you go to wealthwisebanking.com, you'll find my calendar and Jason's calendar.
That's it. So, Jeremy, another awesome session. Everyone listening, thank you for your time, for your attention, for your trust. And you already know you're already in banking.
You're just not the banker yet.
Book that call and we will see you soon. Come in prepared and let's change your life.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on WealthWise Banking. If today's episode inspired you, please subscribe, leave a review, and give us a like. It's a simple way to help others discover these empowering strategies and join our community. Together, we're building a network of people who believe financial freedom is within everyone's reach. Remember, financial independence is about making every dollar work for you, one step at a time. Until next time, stay inspired, stay in control, and keep building your legacy the wise way.